Many people ask me what it means to juggle multiple roles, or jachi. For performers, it means rushing between different film sets, playing completely separate lives in various scripts. For me, Hushu, it means wandering across two boundaries. One is the flawed, frustrating real-world life, and the other is the snow-covered Republican-era scripted world of Snow Country Express. I lived inside two narratives, struggling to tell apart the sorrows of fictional characters from my very own joys and griefs. Once I believed romance existed only in theater, that my heart could only belong to Qin Xiaoyi, the stern, noble warlord within the script. I never imagined that once the stage lights dimmed, that figure would step out of fiction and walk straight into my ordinary days, turning theatrical bonds into a genuine, long-lasting real-life companionship. Looking back on earlier years, my life kept ending in disappointment. My romantic life was one setback after another. A long-awaited engagement dissolved into an embarrassing broken promise. My career search was full of frustrations. Holding fast to my dream of working as an interpreter, I sent out countless applications, brimming with hope each time, only to be disappointed by reality. My family of origin offered limited warmth. My father often spoke in discouraging tones, blind to my efforts, dismissing my ambitions as naive and reckless. I craved recognition, longing for someone who could see my sensitive, vulnerable inner self beneath my outward composure. Yet reality mostly brought letdown and coldness. I was not fragile, but repeated unmet desires slowly eroded my confidence. I kept working hard, polishing my interpreting craft, yet an empty space lingered deep inside me, and I had no idea how to fill it. During those low moments, my best friend Zhao Xiaoru stayed faithfully by my side. Seeing me sinking into gloom, she dragged me into the immersive theater Snow Country Express. Before then, I rarely took part in scripted murder mystery games. I had no idea how a confined venue, vintage Republican-era costumes, and carefully staged performance could briefly free people from all worldly troubles. Train whistles roared, snow fell endlessly, the gates of Wrong City slowly swung open, and flickering lanterns unfolded the glamour and hidden danger of an old age. Amid this surreal atmosphere, I laid eyes on Qin Xiaoyi. Dressed in a crisp military uniform, cold-browed and reserved, he was the newly appointed finance minister of Wrong City, trapped in turbulent times. Within the story, danger lurked everywhere. Caught in the center of political chaos, he remained calm and restrained, bearing untold burdens. In that instant, I fell almost instantly. Intellectually, I knew it was only a performance. He was an NPC, and I was a paying player. Every interaction between us was pre-written in dialogue. Yet the human heart seldom obeys reason. I cherished those few hours of escape, enchanted by the broken soul romance of that fictional warlord. Therefore, I returned to the theater time and again. Every visit cost me a considerable ticket price, simply to catch another glimpse of Qin Xiaoyi, to briefly sink back into that snow-dusted old-world dream. Outsiders might laugh at my infatuation with a fictional persona, yet only I understood. Back then, I badly needed a dream untouched by reality, a temporary shelter from every defeat life threw at me. I drowned in the fantasy woven by the script, pouring my infatuation entirely into Qin Xiaoyi, barely thinking about Xiao Jiu, the actor behind the role. To me at that time, Qin Xiaoyi felt complete, and Xiao Jiu was merely an unimportant man hiding behind the character's mask. I confused the fictional persona with the real human being, taking script-written traits for his whole identity. I chased the light from the stage, overlooking the real man with tempers, wounds, and obsessions living in the mundane world. Fate played a teasing trick and dragged me out of illusion back to ordinary life. By accident, Xiao Jiu became my landlord. Later, through twists of fate, I joined his architecture studio, and we became supervisor and subordinate. Off-stage encounters came crashing in, forcing me to confront Xiao Jiu's genuine edges and warmth beneath Qin Xiaoyi's mask. Our early interactions were awkward and dissonant. I was accustomed to seeing him as the restrained warlord in military regalia. Real-life Xiao Jiu could be stubborn, sharp-tongued, and obsessive about his work, weighed down by heavy family history. His father had been wrongfully convicted years ago. That old, unresolved case chained his whole existence. For years, while running his architecture firm, he quietly gathered evidence, determined to clear his father's name. Without the romantic perfection of the scripted character, he bore scars carved by past suffering. I struggled to reconcile these two vastly different impressions. It felt as if I was performing two competing dramas at once. One, the Republican-era snowbound dream of Wrong City, the other the modern daily grind filled with work conflicts and trivial reality. My heart swung repeatedly, half lingering in fiction, half pulled into real-world existence. It was during this period that I met Pei Zhen, general manager of Zhuling Group. He was wealthy, poised, and seemingly gentle. He stepped into my life and showed me affection. For a long time, I wondered whether his interest was genuine or mixed with business calculation. He was Xiaojiu's commercial rival, and at times my existence became a pawn in their contest. He witnessed my mess and my resilience, offering tempting opportunities and comfort during my vulnerable hours. Still, I gradually sensed that much of his kindness was purpose-driven. Part of his attraction came from the desire to win, and only a fraction stemmed from genuine fondness. I was grateful for his help, yet dared not open my heart fully. Adult love is never purely black and white. He carried his own obsessions and chains from his family background. But I knew the love I wanted should never be built on games and exploitation. Bit by bit, life stripped away illusions, and I shed my rose-tinted filters. I stopped equating Xiaojiu with Qin Xiaoyi. I finally understood that the romance that moved me in-game was carefully staged performance. Those striking lines and expressions were skilled acting. The real Xiaojiu grew weary, angry, tormented by the pursuit of justice, yet fundamentally upright and sincere. At work, we argued, clashed, and adjusted to one another. As an interpreter, I steadily sharpened my professional skills, treating translation as my foundation for survival. I no longer counted on others to save me. I wrote articles, ran my social media account as a translation blogger, and slowly built my own world. I came to realize my crush on Qin Xiaoyi was a projection of my inner longing. For companionship that shares hardship, for someone who holds fast to integrity despite suffering. And stripped of theatrical glamour, exactly those qualities live deep inside Xiaojiu's soul. On stage, we watched Qin Xiaoyi navigate wartime chaos. Offstage, Xiaojiu advanced step by step through thorns hunting for truth. Miraculously, the two storylines mirrored each other. Conspiracies, frame-ups, and injustices within Snow Country Express echoed the real-world misfortune of the Xiao family. It dawned on me why Xiaojiu portrayed Qin Xiaoyi so compellingly. It was more than acting. He poured years-long suppression, grief, and forbearance straight into the character's bones. That was his own way of juggling roles, pouring real-life pain into a fictional figure on stage. Accompanying him through all this, I achieved my own awakening and transformation. I no longer sought shelter in scripted games to escape reality. I learned to face regrets from my family origin, accepting every past failure in romance and career. Experiences that once made me insecure stopped being chains and became my armor. There was no effortless sweetness between Xiaojiu and me. Misunderstandings piled up, suspicions stood in our way. We saw each other at our most broken, witnessed stubbornness as well as fragility. There were withdrawals, evasions, moments of stepping back even after sparks flew. I once doubted whether I loved the stage illusion or the scarred man standing in front of me. Afraid of fresh heartbreak, I feared projecting fantasy onto reality only to face further disappointment. Yet, small daily moments could not lie. A warm drink handed to me late at night in the office. Him standing by my side without questions when rumors plagued me. The pain in his eyes speaking of his father's injustice, while he still refused to resort to unscrupulous means. Seeing my unrest, he never pressured me to open up instantly, granting me space to lower my guard slowly. True love is not thunderstruck romance bursting onto the scene in drama. Real affection survives after all magnificent trappings fall away, when you still choose to see the other person for who they truly are. I finally separated fiction from reality. Qin Xiaoyi belonged to Wrong City and the endless snowstorm inside the performance. I chose to turn toward living and breathing Xiaojiu. Yet our path remained dangerous. The Pei family was tied to the old injustice. Pei Zhen's father was the man who framed Xiaojiu's father and caused my father's disabling accident. Layer upon layer, buried truths surfaced, pressing the grievances of 2 generations squarely onto our shoulders. Danger followed. Plots, arson, and coercion drew us into a powerful tempest that threatened to swallow us whole. When crisis arrived, we did not run from one another. Once I dreamed of a hero shielding me from every worldly storm. But going through all this taught me that healthy love is never one-sided protection. It means two people standing side by side, facing gales together. I was no longer merely an audience member lost in theatrical fantasy. I stood beside Xiao Jiu, helping sort evidence, analyzing clues, enduring heavy pressure from the Pei family. Fear existed, yet I found courage I had never possessed before. I ceased fearing darkness because I understood I myself carried power to resist it. I need not rely on anyone for security. The day truth was revealed, 2 generations of wrongs were finally redressed. Long-buried secrets came to light, and wrongdoers faced their reckoning. Realizing his father's crimes, Pei Zhen surrendered corporate power and walked away alone. Our tangled history concluded with bittersweet decency. He had his own life lessons to learn, and I had my own future to pursue. Our paths parted there, with no further attachment between us. Looking back once the dust settled, I saw how far I had traveled. From a girl hiding inside theatrical dreams evading reality, I grew into an adult capable of standing firm, confronting wounds, daring to love, and also daring to bear loss. I often reflect on the meaning of juggling roles. Is not every human being constantly performing multiple parts? We act as children, workers, friends, and lovers, switching identities repeatedly, oscillating between fantasy and reality. In the past, I preferred theatrical scripts and found real life full of flaws. Yet life's great screenplay without splendid military uniforms or snowstorm atmospherics holds its own weight. It contains imperfection, hurt and unfulfilled wishes, yet also genuine warmth, growth forged through stumbles, and love gained after filters fall away. I could not completely erase wounds left by my family of origin. My father's attitudes hardly changed overnight. Old discouragement and neglect would not vanish instantly. Still, I learned reconciliation, not forgiving harm done to me, but releasing the self trapped in past pain. I accepted my imperfections, my rocky romantic luck, my countless failures along the way. Failure never meant I was unworthy of love. I poured energy into my career, deepened my interpreting skills, operated my online platform, and spoke with my own voice. I understood that a woman's destination never hinges on meeting a perfect savior. Inner wholeness comes first. Love adds beauty to life. It is not the sole source of warmth. If your inner world stays hollow, even the most beautiful fictional dream cannot grant true salvation. Carrying our past scars, Xiao Jiu and I finally stepped out of the theater, shed our costumes, and settled into ordinary earthly existence. He shifted part of his focus away from architecture and dived into script writing, rewriting Snow Country Express, weaving our experiences and insights into its new narrative. That snow-dusted dream which first brought us together acquired a brand new ending after worldly hardships. We no longer needed character masks to project inner feelings. As Hu Shu and Xiao Jiu, we could be honest and open with each other. Gentle kisses beneath cherry blossoms, quiet chess games in leisure time, simple moments yet infinitely precious. Far less dramatic than theater, every bit of happiness felt tangible and real. I still remember myself sitting inside the theater, gazing at Qin Xiaoyi. I do not mock that old infatuation. It was my mental shelter when I was at my lowest. That illusory dream was fate's thread leading me to Xiao Jiu. Still, I am grateful I never stayed trapped within fiction forever. I dared to walk out of that heavy snow and embrace reality with all its imperfections. Plays can be performed again and again. NPC stories repeat in cycles, yet real life offers no retakes, no resets. Every step cannot be undone. So many people crave dramatic romance, waiting for fated love at first sight and spectacular passion. But having lived through both fictional and real-world narratives, I know the most precious affection grows after glamour fades. You saw my naive indulgence in fantasy, my humiliation during job hunting, my insecurity shaped by family. I witnessed your torment from the old case, your stubborn edges, wounds you could never fully heal. Having seen every flaw in each other, we still choose to draw closer. That is genuine love within reality. Such is my story, an encounter born in scripted theater and fulfilled in mortal life. A drama crossing illusion and reality. I borrowed a spark of infatuation from the play and found genuine self-discovery and belonging within real life. The best ending is not living inside a flawless script, but accepting imperfect reality, and blooming amid ordinary fragments of existence.